Hello everybody, this is Death Save Anxiety here. Today I wanted to talk about something a little bit different than the usual like Mothership or board games and tabletop. I've actually been starting to play a lot of Magic. I wanted to talk about the deck that I use mostly and kind of what got me into it and why I picked this deck and why I still really use this deck that I got. It was a Precon or a pre-constructed commander deck for those that don't know what Precon is. Um, it is the Grave Danger. I think it was the starter or what is it? Starter commander deck, I think is what it's called. There was 5 of them, I believe, in different color combinations. This one is Dimir. It is blue and black Dimir. Because in Magic, every color combination has like a sort of name for it, whether it's a Magic school or a clan or whatever it is. I don't actually know what Dimir is because I'm not super familiar with Magic, but I just know that is the keyword or the nickname for blue and black. It's led by this card. Let me make sure you can see this correctly. There we go. It's led by Gisa and Geralf, or Gisa and Geralf, or some combination of that. They are human wizard for 2 blue and a black, or 4 CMC. When the ETB triggers, you mill 4 cards. Milling is removing 4 cards from your from your library to your graveyard. And once during each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell or zombie creature spell from your graveyard. In Magic, spells are everything that is not a land, to my understanding. So a zombie creature spell is just a zombie creature. So like, let's see, nope, that's a swamp. I didn't unshuffle my deck, so I'll probably have to look through there. But basically anything that says zombie there is like the subtype or like the creature type. The ability, the commander ability, is really fun, and it was something that I didn't know about when I bought the deck, like abilities and what was good, what was bad. Oh, and there are 4/4, by the way. Sorry, 4 power, 4 toughness. What I knew about was basically like typal stuff, basic archetypes. I knew I wanted something that was typal. I like zombies, and I like being able to kind of mesh everything in the deck together by creature type. And I think this one was like $20 when I bought it at the local game store I went to. And that was obviously a big factor, just buying something small and not too intensive as far as like just money forward. And the way the guy described it to me, he described it as being pretty simple to play, and while it wasn't understandable for me in the first couple games of my commander like life, like especially this trigger and like this, not the trigger but the once during each of your turns thing was really hard for me to understand because I had a hard time grasping and remembering what was in my graveyard, despite the fact that you can pull it out and look through it every time. It's just like remembering while you're doing all your other combos and remembering what's in there and how to build off of each other. But as I started playing with friends and acquaintances and of like friends and stuff and not just random people, I became a little less scared of like taking my time and figuring out what I wanted to do with my commander and pulling it out of the command zone and like actually trying to build off of the commander and the 99. And I would say that what I've found so far is that during mid game or like kind of like early to mid game, Gisa and Geralf really shines as you start to get to discard cards and sacrifice cards from other zombie like non-token zombies and combat. Obviously if you lose a zombie from combat, or like if you're milling, and there's a lot of milling in this deck, which is really fun. It's such a, to me, mill is exhilarating. I think it's really fun, and I don't understand mill hate, even like when you're milling other people or other people are milling you. Like self mill is fun, but like I don't really get the hate. But I guess I'm playing a zombie Dimir deck, so take that as you will. The zombies in here that are like non-tokens, let's see if I can find any. That's a lot of lands. I swear I shuffled this. Like the zombie types play really well as a typal deck, or tribal as they used to be called. You can earn tokens from certain things like Liliana's Mastery and things like Amass, which builds you an army. Let's see which one of these is an army. Armies are basically 0/0s that, 0/0s that you amass with counters. And then because they're a zombie, and usually tokens get really buff in this too, you can get +1/+1 from other zombies buffing each other, which is really fun. Counters, obviously +1/+1s you get a lot of in this deck. And a few keywords too from like Mire Triton I think doesn't do it. No, that's a self-mill card. There's something that gives you flying zombies in this, which is really crazy. That's a fun one. I know people in my pod will be like, okay, now if he has flying, he's a little bit more of a threat, even though it's like, adding that one keyword, and then like sometimes there's Death Touch, sometimes there's Menace. Those are the three that I remember off the top of my head that are really important in here. The non-creatures are really fun as well. I know I've talked about the zombie type, but the non-creatures are really fun. Actually, just pulled the Liliana's Mastery. Nice. Zombies you control get +1/+1. When Liliana's Mastery enters the battlefield, create 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. So that is a really good kind of just enchantment that sits out there and buffs everything that you've built. But let's talk about, like non-creature stuff. Pilfered Plans, a 1 a blue and a black. Target player mills 2 cards, draw 2 cards, so you can just self-mill and draw. And then basically, to understand why that's good for you is to know that playing the graveyard is an extension of your hand with Gisa and Geralf. Or, I think it is Vela? No, not Vela. Diagraph something. There's a guy in here that can pull even like non-zombies out of the graveyard, which is great. I'm just going to take a quick look and see if I can find some fun cards to talk about. Victimize is a fun one. You target creature cards in your graveyard, sacrifice a creature. If you do, return the chosen cards to the battlefield tapped. Even though they're tapped, there are some ways to untap creatures plus like the 2-for-1, or rather the 1-for-2 feels really good, especially later in the game when you have a lot to choose from in your graveyard. Here is an example. Gleaming Overseer is an Amass. Put a +1/+1 counter on an army you control. If you don't control one, create a 0/0 first and then amass it. Or put the +1/+1 on it. Plus, tokens you control have Hexproof and Menace. Hexproof is a good one too. I didn't remember Hexproof was in there. But that specifically plays to the tokens. Army of the Damned is a fun card I actually wanted to talk about. Oh, there goes my pencil. I've never seen that again. So let's see if I can get this to show up. I'll read it to you as well. So Army of the Damned is 5 and 3 black to create 13 tapped 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Flashback for 7 and 3 black is you may cast this from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it, which is really neat because it is not a creature and like a zombie creature, Gisa and Geralf can't pull it. However, the flashback cost allows you to pull it again for one more time before you exile it. I wanted to talk about Army of the Damned because I actually won a game which was really fun. It felt like a Hail Mary throw, but I was actually able to play Army of the Damned, get my creature tokens. They had, I think, Menace on them, which is what made them so powerful, plus a couple other threats on the board like a Death Toucher and stuff, and I was able to make it back to my turn untap 13 2/2s with, I think they might have been 3/3s at that point with a +1/+1 buff and Menace. So there's technically, the person I was swinging at needed 26 blockers. That was awesome. That was a really fun play. It felt good to have that kind of Hail Mary go good for me. Let's see. Zombie tokens you control of Death Touch. Some of these I haven't even seen played yet, which is really cool because you might think that sounds silly, but Commander, you have so many cards that you don't get to see throughout some of the games. It's like when you pull it, it's like, oh wait, oh this is so cool. I get to play this and like build around this now. Jozu Vesh or Ves Lich Knight is a really cool card. However, I really hate the kicker cost. It's 2 a black and a black for a 4/5, and the kicker is 5 and a black, and it's an additional cost. If you don't know, that kicker is an additional cost. It has menace, which means it requires 2 blockers to block this card, and the kicker means you can create 8 2/2 black zombie knight creature tokens with menace. Uh, that is crazy. You get basically you need 16 blockers plus the one required, so 17 blockers essentially, or 18 blockers to block what you create because they don't come in tapped. It's so cool. I mean, it's not instant speed obviously, so you're not like throwing 8 blockers out there all of a sudden, or 8 attackers out, but it's very cool. Undermine is a very good card. I've used this one a lot. It's an instant for blue blue black, and you basically counter spell, and its controller loses 3 life. It's just a fun little addition with the black in there. Lord of the Accursed is good. I like that one a lot. It's Withered Wretch is fun. It allows you to just tap a mana and exile a target card from a graveyard. I think that's a very cool effect. But I've just been having a great time with this precon. To say all that I've been saying, and Zombie Apocalypse, I was almost able to win a game with this, but it was I drew it one hand too late. I maybe I shouldn't say win, but I was almost able to fight off like a game with that. Some of the spells and the non-creatures, like I've been talking about this whole time, or I guess that was the segue into that, are really fun. Some of the high CMC stuff feels like a Hail Mary, but it's also really fun to do that when you're kind of down and out, or it seems like you're down and out, and you just throw it out there, you tap out or almost tap out, maybe keep up a blue as like a bait or something, and it just feels good because especially with being blue and black, you have blue counters and like black removal spells like target removal or spot removal and stuff. And I think that overall this is a great precon. I would still recommend this precon to people that want to get into Magic. If you are into these colors or typal decks, it is not like super strong, but I have won with it against people that build their decks and aren't necessarily always thinking about bracket, meaning like they're not like matching my bracket too all the time. I think the improvements can come in better lands or mana base. There are certainly times where the dual lands that come in tap kind of suck. I don't know what I would improve for cheap though, or feel like you could budget improve the mana base. I definitely want more ways to stop graveyard hate. That's for sure. Because if you get your graveyard exiled, that is huge for the other 3 people that are playing, because you are playing your graveyard as an extension of your hand, basically, to a certain extent. And so when you get that exiled, you have nothing to play with from there. Especially if you're milling and stuff and you haven't even gotten to play it once yet. And with that, I wanted to just talk about Magic in general and how it's been a really good time for me, despite a really rocky and kind of like slow start to playing it. I've been really enjoying it as like an educational, like sort of not educational, but like learning with friends and acquaintances, like I said before, or like friends of friends and stuff like that, rather than complete randoms. It kind of removes some of the pressure of politicking and the social aspect of Commander. Using Spell Table, which is why my webcam is set up over here, has been really fun, despite like the initial setup. I found a good spot for it. I play my mat and I kind of sit a little bit sideways and just, am able to use the space that I have. But using Spell Table is really fun once you get it set up. It's fun to play with your paper and just, slap it down. It's a little hard when somebody's grabbing your spells or grabbing your stuff out of graveyard, and you gotta like, what we usually do is try and like put it like really high up on the board and like flip it around, or like show them what it is, and they can write a copy on a copy, like a copy token. And there's other ways to play, like digitally and stuff like that, that make Commander really easy to learn, and I would highly recommend to anybody trying to get into Magic or play Magic. I played Commander. I played a tiny bit of Standard, and Standard is just a little too frustrating as far as like just the power levels that you can see in that format, and just the fact that it's always basically a 1v, well, it is a 1v1 and not a political 4v 1v1 v1v1 or a free for all or whatever, where you can like persuade and you can talk through things and stuff like that. It's a 1v1 that you're meant to win. So there's definitely the competitive aspect of Standard that can be very frustrating, especially when some of those cards get very expensive. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, just Magic in general, the Precon that I've been enjoying, and the deck that I play the most. And I just want to say thank you for anybody that tunes in and sees this and wants to play Magic. I would say go for it. Get a Precon. Don't worry about building your own deck at first, despite, like pride or thinking that you should be able to or whatever, or just wanting to. It's like, just get a Precon that appeals to you in the most ways that you can think of, and just run with it. From there, you'll learn a lot about the game, and then you can start building your decks because you have that knowledge of what meshes together and what doesn't. So yeah, thank you to everybody who I've played with, and everyone who's watching or going to watch. And yeah, just Magic has been really good. I've not been playing a lot of tabletops, and really thinking about tabletop other than Mothership a little bit. And obviously I didn't start the solo play. I actually got sick, I think, the day after I posted that video, and it was very kind of discouraging. So I just wanted to show a little bit of what I have been doing. So thank you guys. And this has been Death Save Anxiety, and I will see you guys later. Bye.